Women want a tall dude, handsome and rich. So why do they sometimes date the small, ugly guy? Women want a guy that has his shit together. But why do some of them date the broke junkie? Women want a good guy with good intentions. But so why do they stay with the guy that doesn't respect them? I could go on like that for a while. You get the point. Truth is, you've been lied to. TV and movies have been telling you lies about what makes a man attractive. And today, with social media, red and black pillars have been doing the same, as well as feminists. In this video, I will tell you what you need to know about female nature and what makes a man attractive. And on top of that, I will explain to you how you can become that guy. I will give you tips, but also implementable advice so that you can start right now. How do I know this? Well, I was a feminist and it didn't work out. I also was a red pillar and it didn't work out either. It's only when I started to investigate seriously and most of all experience real life that I started to really understand. So let me share you my knowledge on this topic. When I was looking for thumbnails and title for this video, I was trying to get inspiration from YouTube and I typed, what makes a man attractive? And the first thing that I realized is that there's so much content to improve physical aspects of attractiveness. Like max out your jaw, max out your height, try to have better muscles and everything. And also like the hunter eyes, everything that's really physically focused. And it actually correlates with something that I've been noticing since around the first lockdown in 2020, where basically a lot of guys started to use exclusively dating apps to meet women. And on there, they realized they didn't have much success. And because of that, they made the only conclusion that they could make, which was women are shallow and the only thing that matters is looks. But something is not right there. You're telling me that the only thing that matters is looks? So what about these people, these famous people? What about also the others? And most importantly, you probably also experienced that yourself. What about every time that you go out in the street or anywhere and you see a couple where the guy is ugly, objectively, but is going out with an amazingly beautiful woman? And most importantly, he's not even rich. So who is right here? What do women look for exactly in a man? The common idea that is widespread is that a man, an attractive man, has either one of these three things: looks, money, or status. So if he's ugly but has women, it's because he has money. And if he doesn't have money, well, it's because he has status. He's some kind of famous person. Or maybe he has a company or is the owner of someone, or maybe he is some kind of a teacher, basically someone important for other people. And to some degree, that's not completely wrong. Women indeed react positively to those traits. Looks indeed attracts women in the beginning. Money will make her interested because she's just picturing all the stuff you will be able to do with that. Like traveling or having the stuff that she dreams to have or whatever it is. And also, most importantly, it gives her a sense of safety. The money makes sure that you will never have any problems with paying the bills at the end of the month or not having food, stuff like that. And the status gives her importance and makes her feel like when she was reading those stories with Disney stories with the prince and the princess, like she's trying to find her prince, and so if he has status, makes her feel that way. Now, what I can agree on is that those things get you noticed and then considered as a dating option. But do they make her fall in love? Nope. Think about it. How many times have you seen guys who are super handsome, but they get cheated on or just dumped? Think about some celebrities that have been in really rough cases, or the famous story of the rich husband and the lover, the secret lover stories, you know? So yeah, for a woman to fall in love, you need other elements than just looks, status, and money. So what could it be? So it's important here to think about what we mean when we say her being in love with you. Because the word love is a very mixed concept of different things. What we mean by love here is not the pure love of a mother for her child, which is selfless. No, here we're talking about a certain kind of love. The love that a woman has for a man, the closest way we could think about it would be admiration. Basically, she sees you as being superior to her in any ways. And by that I mean that she sees you as being more capable than her, somehow. And why is that important? Because otherwise, what's the point for her to go out with you? She wants you to be able to take care of her, to be competent to solve all of her problems and make her life better. For example, you know how to fix stuff in the house. You stay calm when she's stressed. You have more income than her, yes, but maybe you have more friends that love you truly, that are faithful to you, and she sees that as something that she doesn't have. Or you're more literate, you read more books, you're more knowledgeable, you know more stuff than her. Maybe also you're funnier than her, you make her laugh a lot. Or simpler, you are older than her. And by the way, this is why most women will go out with someone that is taller or older than her. Why? Because it subconsciously shows this superiority that I talked about. She thinks, well, if he's taller or older that probably means he's more competent than me to protect me, to provide for me, all of these. And by the way, this is something that is very well documented in the scientific literature. We call that hypergamy. It's when women date only across or up in a social hierarchy. And a hierarchy can be anything. As I said, could be looks, could be intelligence, could be material possessions, anything. Now here, a quick tip. If you want to see if a girl is admiring you, just look at how she looks at you. If she has sparkles in her eyes when you talk to her, she probably loves you. Now it's important here to mention long-term relationship because she will probably admire you in the beginning. That's pretty easy if you have your shit together. But obviously, you're not perfect. You're still a human being. And so in the long run, you're gonna have weak moments. You're gonna have moments where you don't know how to act, when you don't have a solution. But do not worry about this because with time, a purer form of love will develop in her. The fact that you have been faithful to her, the fact that you have provided for her, that you've showed that you're strong, that you're competent. As long as you still have this base, as you still are roughly a competent man that you solve problems, you can have those weak moments because you've proven yourself already. So she will maybe not admire you as much as in the beginning, but she still will love you maybe even more. Basically, she's grateful to have you around. She's grateful that, yes, you are an admirable person for her, but also you have stayed and you have stayed faithful to her. So now with this information, now that you understand how they love someone, you understand why looks, money, and status helps, but also why it's not enough. Because if you have looks, but you are weak, incompetent, you can't do well, she doesn't admire you. If you have money, but it's money that you got from playing the lottery or just because you were lucky or because you had rich parents, well, she doesn't admire you either. If you have status, but it's stupid status that you got by chance or because you did stupid stuff online, well, yeah, she might see you as being an important person, but then in the everyday life, if you're not competent, well, you just look pathetic. Okay, so back at it after I realized I didn't have enough battery on my camera. To summarize it so far, we have said that to be an attractive male means to be a competent man. Now, I'm going to give you one clear example of that. James Bond, and specifically Sean Connery James Bond. Now, I know that there's a lot of controversy around him, but let's put that aside for now and focus on the good things. James is strong, confident. He knows what to do. He knows how to solve problems. Whatever situation arises, he knows how to deal with it. And when you look at him, you can see that he knows that whatever happens, he will be fine. This is obviously an ideal, but it's ideals that give you goals, things to work on towards so that you make your life interesting. So the idea here is that the more you look like him in his behavior, the more success you're gonna get. To a point where girls start to actively chase after you. Now, pay attention carefully here. If you are not a psychopath or a narcissist, you cannot pretend that you are this confident. That doesn't work that way. Or to put it better, you cannot pretend long enough so that it actually comes across as authentic, as real. There's going to be a point in a relationship where she will see that you're actually not confident. And so you will lose her. What you need to do is to acquire real confidence from real competence, from real life experiences. Now, you do not need to be competent in every way because this is unrealistic. You can't be an expert in everything. But what you need to focus on is to be an expert or actually be competent, a minimum, in the areas where she will need your help, where she might have some issues and you can then solve those issues. Examples: be good in bed, be good at work so that you can earn more money. If something gets broken in the house, be competent enough to fix it or know what to do with this problem to solve it. It can be hire someone to fix it or just buy new stuff, so having enough money for that. Also have a driving license so that you can drive her to places. Or if you're rich, well, you can hire someone to do it, you can pay her a taxi or whatever it is. But here, understand that if you just always rely on other people to bring you stuff because you're rich, well, that's okay, but you kind of lose a certain charisma. It's still better to show that you can do those things yourself. It gives you a better aura, a better charisma. Also, know how to defend yourself physically. Know how to cook if she's not so good with it. Know how to fix your car, get it fixed, etc. Now you understand the point here. So how are you supposed to know all those things? How are you supposed to have that experience? Well, obviously by having more life experience, but how do you do that? Well, if you have two key character traits. Discipline to do the things that you know you have to do when you have to do it. Courage to do the stuff that make you embarrassed, afraid, etc. Because think about it, James Bond has so many competence, but we never see him trying new stuff and failing and being embarrassed and looking stupid. But he had to do that in the past to become like that. We just show the end result, but he was indeed embarrassed before. So that means that if you want to be good in bed, for example, you have to be willing to try new stuff with some girls and looking stupid. You have to be willing to not be able to satisfy her, to be rejected even for it. Do you understand? If every day of your life you do everything that needs to be done and you have the courage to try new stuff, this is exactly how you will acquire life experience and you will start to be good. So the more disciplined you are and the more courage you have to try new stuff, the quicker you will get competence in various fields, various areas, and so the quickest you will look confident. And if you think about it, laziness and cowardice are top repellents for women. They hate it. It's almost like they already have intuitively this link that they know that if a guy is lazy and coward, he probably won't be confident and will probably not be able to basically support them or be there for them. Now, if you think that this looks like a lot of work, let's put things into perspective here. I didn't say you have to be James Bond to attract girls, because that's impossible. You can't be that competent. Or at least, not in a reasonable amount of time. And it would mean that every guy that is not James Bond is single, which is not true. How are you situated into the mass of men around you? Most importantly, if you're interested by certain type of girls, maybe in your social circle, maybe in general, a certain type of girl, look at what is your competition. If your competition is less brave and less disciplined than you, or simply doesn't have as much as you have in terms of competence, well, then it means you are at the top. So you do not need to be perfect. You should still continue to improve, of course, because these guys will continue to improve also. But it means that you do not have to be perfect. And as I said, you will not be anyways. And the very good news today is that because of video games, because of porn online, well, it's very easy for men to become lazy. They don't have this push anymore to go out and meet women. They don't have this push to be brave or to be hard workers, as I said. So it's super easy today to stand out from all of them. If you do the bare minimum, let's say every week you do one new thing. You try to go to singing lessons, or you try to have your driving license if you don't have it, or you subscribe to some martial arts or maybe MMA or whatever, you go to the gym, you can start a business, anything. Well, you're already above the average guy already. And if you continue, you discipline and you get results from that, you're already winning. Girls will notice that because most guys don't do that. So think about it, man. What are you going to do after this video? What is your plan? Are you going to write down what I said? Did you already do it maybe? Are you going to start implementing that? Because deep down, you know what you have to do right now. You know what kind of activities you need to do, what kind of work you have to do on yourself. And if you don't exactly know what to do, well, you know the type of people you should contact for that. So really understand the direct correlation between your behavior after this video is ended and your results with women. The reason why you do not have success with women is the same reason why after this video you're not going to take action. It's the same. So because you understand this, you should now be motivated to take action. So as I said, if you don't really know what to do, you have no plan, you're thinking but you don't know, please contact me. Have the courage to contact me. All the information is under this video in the description. That's all. See you next week.